Assalamu alaikum. Have you ever felt like years of your life have flown away, leaving nothing behind except regrets? Years lost in mistakes, trials, or paths that seemed dead-end? But listen carefully. What you think is lost is never lost to Allah. When the Almighty decides to restore your life, it does this in such a powerful way that your painful past becomes a stepping stone to a bright future. Say, "O my servants who have committed excesses to your own detriment, do not despair of the mercy of Allah." Surah Az-Zumar, 39:53. Today I will reveal to you 10 signs which indicate that Allah is about to restore your lost years. If you watch this video today, it's no coincidence. Maybe this is a message from Allah for you. Listen carefully. 1. A sincere return to Allah. Tawbah. Close your eyes for a moment. Do you feel this emptiness? This invisible weight that you have been carrying for so long? As if your heart was tired, as if the days passed without you really knowing where you were going. But listen to me carefully. It's never too late. You may think that you have gone too far, that you have sinned too much, that you have missed the opportunities that Allah had placed in your path. But the truth is, as long as your heart beats, as long as your breathing continues, hope still exists. The first sign that Allah is about to restore your lost years is when you feel that inner calling to return to Him. It's not just a simple regret. This is not just a passing thought. It's an awakening. It's as if something inside you is waking up after a long sleep. You feel heaviness in the face of your past mistakes, but this heaviness does not break you. It pushes you to act. It is Allah who awakens your soul. He could have left you to wander into oblivion, but no, He's calling you. It doesn't matter what you did. Never mind the years wasted. It doesn't matter what choices kept you apart. The door of return is always open, and this return should not be a fear. It doesn't have to be a burden. It must be a relief. Imagine yourself placing all this burden in His hands. Imagine your heart becoming lighter. Imagine a new page being written, a white, clean, bright page. Allah does not expect perfection. He's just waiting for you to come back. This feeling of tawbah, this desire for change, this sudden desire to get closer to Him, this is the first sign that your rebirth has already begun. 2. The doors of patience and gratitude open. Take a moment. Take a deep breath. Do you feel this pain that marked your heart? These trials that weighed on your back like a mountain? You wondered why. Why me? Why this difficulty? Why this endless weight? But let me ask you a question. What if these trials were not a burden, but a door to something greater? One of the most powerful signs that Allah is about to restore your lost years is when He teaches you patience and gratitude. It's no coincidence that you feel this change in yourself. If your heart begins to understand what it didn't understand before. Maybe before you cursed these difficult times, but today you start to see them differently. You realize they weren't there to break you, but to shape you. Allah knew that your soul needed to be strengthened before it could be restored. And here's the secret. Patience is not just waiting. It is to wait with confidence. It's when your heart accepts that everything that happens to you is part of a divine plan, even if you don't see it yet. That's when, instead of asking, "Why me?" you start saying, "Ya Allah, I trust you." And then, one day something strange happens. You find yourself smiling even in the midst of difficulties. You feel a peace that you have never known before. You see the little blessings around you that you didn't know about yesterday. This is where gratitude comes in. When Allah decides to restore what you lost, it starts by changing your outlook on life. He teaches you to see His signs, to feel His blessings, even in times when everything seems dark. If you feel this transformation within yourself, if you begin to accept your trials with serenity, to see the beauty in what you have, even if it is not yet what you want. So know this: you are already on the path to renewal. 3. A deep feeling of inner peace. There is a moment in life when, despite everything that surrounds you, something changes in you. The storms have not disappeared. The challenges are still there. But strangely, your heart is at peace. It's as if an invisible hand has just extinguished this inner chaos that you've been feeling for so long. Before, every failure broke you. Every loss gnawed at you. Every delay filled you with anxiety. But today, something is different. You no longer try to control everything. You no longer feel this need to understand everything. You let go. And in this letting go, you find a peace that you never knew before. This is one of the greatest signs that Allah is restoring your lost years. Because you see, when He is about to give you back what you thought you had lost, it starts by calming your heart first. Before changing your external situation, it transforms your inner world. This sudden peace, this serenity that settles in you despite the trials, it's not a coincidence. It is Allah who prepares your soul. For how can you receive His benefits if your heart is always at war with itself? How could you see His blessings if your gaze is still clouded by fear and impatience? No. This peace is not a simple coincidence, it's a gift. It's a promise that He is already at work in your life. A promise that even if you don't see results yet, the seeds have already been planted. So if today you feel this calm, if you feel that the storms within you are starting to calm down, know one thing. It is a sign that change is near. Because Allah never leaves a heart in peace without opening the doors of renewal to it. 4. The appearance of new unexpected opportunities. You were walking in the dark. You believed that everything was over, that destiny had drawn an impassable line between you and your dreams. The doors closed one by one. You knocked, begged, waited. But nothing. Until the day, a light appears. An opportunity appears out of nowhere. Something you hadn't even imagined. A way out where there was none. And then you understand. You understand that yesterday's failures were not rejections, but redirections. You understand that if Allah has prevented you from having certain things, it's because He was planning something much better. Because you see, when Allah decides to restore your lost years, He does so by opening doors that you yourself would never have dared to hope for. And this is how it begins. An opportunity that arrives without warning. A call you didn't expect. A hand extended when you thought you were forgotten. Everything suddenly aligns. Things fall into place in such a perfect way that you know. It's not a coincidence. No, it's not luck. This is not a coincidence. It's a sign. A sign that Allah has heard your prayers. A sign that your time has come. But here's the secret. You still have to be ready to seize this opportunity. Sometimes blessings come in a form you don't immediately recognize. Sometimes they require courage, change, a step forward. So, be attentive, observed. Do not reject what Allah places in your path, because when He opens a door for you, it's because He wants you to enter it. And if today you feel that something is falling into place, if opportunities arise from places where you were no longer even looking, know that this is not a simple coincidence. This is the sign that your rebirth has already begun. 5. Your faith becomes stronger. There is a subtle but powerful change happening within you. It's not something you can explain in words. It's a feeling, a deep conviction that takes root in your heart. In the midst of your struggles, of your uncertainties, you began to find your faith again. Before, perhaps faith seemed distant, fragile. You prayed without really believing it, or you questioned yourself, wondering if it all really made sense. But today, something has changed. You find yourself rising, putting your trust back in Allah. You realize that faith is not just a matter of words, but a powerful inner energy who carries you through your darkest moments. And it's a strong sign that Allah is restoring what you thought was lost. When your faith becomes deeper, stronger, more anchored in your heart, it is because Allah is preparing you to receive His blessings. You no longer have any doubts. You understand that what you are going through is a part of His plan. Even the trials, even the moments when you felt lost, take on meaning. Each step brings you closer to Him. Faith, you learn it in adversity. And when you see the hand of Allah in every aspect of your life, you understand that nothing happens by chance. This is not the first time that you have faced difficulties, but this is the first time you stand with unwavering faith. You see the light at the end of the tunnel even if it seems far away. You now know that every difficulty is a test that strengthens your soul. Faith becomes your shield, your silent strength. She guides you. It pushes you to move forward even when the path seems uncertain. And in every prayer, in every invocation, you feel this stronger connection with your Creator. If you recognize yourself in this feeling, if your faith has become more solid, more real, then this is a powerful sign that Allah is preparing something extraordinary for you. For with faith comes peace of heart, and peace of heart opens the way to the blessings that await you. 6. Broken links are repaired. There are times in life when relationships seem beyond repair. Conflicts, misunderstandings, invisible wounds. You moved away from the people you loved, and maybe some people moved away from you. The years have passed, and sometimes you feel like those broken bonds are too deep to repair. The pain is there, persistent like an invisible scar. But today, something changes. You find yourself thinking differently, to see things from a new perspective. Your heart begins to relax. One of the most powerful signs that Allah is restoring your lost years is when your relationships are repaired, even those that you thought were permanently broken. It's no coincidence that people you lost contact with start to come back into your life. It is no accident that bridges are rebuilt even after years of distance. It is Allah who opens paths of reconciliation. When Allah wants to restore what you have lost, He begins by repairing your heart, and from there it begins to heal broken relationships. It can be subtle. A word exchanged, a smile found, a discussion that soothes old resentments. Little by little, you begin to see these relationships in a different light. This is not an instant solution. It takes time, patience, and an open heart. But the simple fact that you feel ready to repair what seemed irreparable, it is already a sign of healing. The trials you experienced with these people, the wounds you carried, are lessons. Allah shows you that in humility, forgiveness, and understanding, there is true freedom. And if today you find yourself reaching out where you had closed your heart, if you feel ready to forgive or ask for forgiveness, know that this is a sign that Allah is preparing your soul to receive His blessings. No matter what you have experienced, no matter the painful past you carry, Allah offers you the possibility of repairing, of rebuilding. It offers you the opportunity to find peace in your relationships. If you feel that reconciliation is already underway, even in situations that seemed hopeless, know that it is Allah who is restoring what you thought was lost. 7. A new motivation to serve Allah. There are times when, after going through hardships, you find yourself reflecting on what you have truly accomplished, and suddenly an idea hits you. There's more to it than that. There's more to do. You wake up one morning with a new feeling, like a fresh breath that penetrates every corner of your heart. This feeling? It's more than a desire. It's a new motivation that burns inside you. And this motivation, it's not for you alone. It is not for your personal ambitions or for material success. No, this motivation is to serve Allah. When Allah is about to restore your wasted years, He awakens you to a purpose greater than yourself. You realize that life is not simply a series of moments lived for oneself, but that it has a higher purpose. You want to contribute, help, do good. You want Allah to be pleased with you, and you begin to understand that everything you do can be a form of worship. This is a clear sign. When Allah restores what you thought was lost, it not only gives you inner peace, it also gives you the momentum to move forward, to make a difference around you. You feel the need to reach out to those who are suffering, to teach, to share your wisdom, or even to donate your resources. This need to serve Allah becomes so powerful that you can no longer ignore it. It's like an irresistible force. You see the world differently. You see the suffering of others, and you feel the call to intervene, to offer a listening ear, to perform acts of charity. You understand that every little action has value in the eyes of Allah. When you put yourself in the service of Allah, everything takes on a deeper meaning. You realize that this service goes beyond you. He touches others, He impacts the world, He leaves a mark that only eternity will appreciate. If you feel this surge of motivation within you, if you want now more than ever to serve Allah and His cause, this is a sign that divine restoration has already begun. Because Allah does not wake you up just to bless you. He wakes you up so that by serving others, you can find your own redemption. 8. Your supplications are answered. There are times when you prayed, asked, begged, but the answers never seem to come. The years pass, and sometimes it seems that your pleas are lost in the air, like words whispered in the wind. You may have wondered if Allah had forgotten you, if your prayers were ignored, and then one day you notice something surprising. The answers are starting to arrive. Not all at once, but little by little. Blessings that appear where you least expected them. Doors that open when you thought they were closed forever. Things are starting to come together one after the other. When Allah decides to restore what you have lost, He often begins by answering the prayers you thought you had forgotten. This is the sign that He has never stopped hearing you. The invocations you made even in the darkest moments were not ignored. Allah heard them, and He acted in His infinite wisdom. It is not the timing you imagined, nor the form you expected, but each prayer is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of divine mercy. Some will say that the answers come immediately, but sometimes Allah chooses to respond at the perfect moment, the moment when your heart is ready, when your faith is strengthened, when you are able to see His blessings with clarity. You've prayed for small things, big things, things for yourself, things for others. And today those prayers are starting to come true. Maybe not in the way you imagined them, but in an even more beautiful, more perfect way. The answers to your prayers are not a simple yes or no from Allah. They are a sign of His closeness, a sign that He is working for you, even in times when you do not see Him. If today you see results that seemed unthinkable, if you begin to see blessings manifest where you never thought, then know this: Allah has heard you. This is not to say that everything is easy or instantaneous, but this means that gradually the fruits of your faith and your prayers are manifested. And if you see this transformation in your life, it is a clear sign that Allah is restoring what you thought was lost. 9. New energy to move forward. There are times when you feel exhausted, as if all energy is leaving you, as if every step is a struggle. Fatigue, doubt, frustration. It all becomes a heavy burden and you wonder if you will have the strength to continue. But one day you wake up. Something has changed. This emptiness that you felt, this weariness that paralyzed you, suddenly seems to clear up. A momentum, a new breath. The energy you lacked returns. You then realize that this energy doesn't just come from you. It's not just about sleep or rest. It is a gift from Allah, a sign that He has prepared something great for you. He has renewed you. He has revived you. It can be a small trigger or a big awakening. Maybe you get up earlier. Attack the day with a motivation you haven't felt in a long time. You take control of your projects. You move forward with more clarity, more strength. You are no longer afraid of the future because you feel that you have the ability to shape it. When Allah decides to restore what you have lost, He does not only give you material blessings. It gives you the strength to act, the motivation to take action. It fills you with the will to progress, to accomplish, to do what you thought was impossible. This can be in your work, in your studies, in your personal life. But whatever the field, you feel ready to take on new challenges. Yesterday's trials become distant memories, and each difficulty that presents itself now seems easier to overcome. It's a transformed energy, a force you never imagined. It is divine, it came from Him, and it helps you overcome every obstacle. You feel capable of achieving what you didn't even dare to imagine. So if today you feel that this new energy animates you, if you feel that your strengths are multiplying to advance your objectives, know that it's not a coincidence. It is a sign that Allah is restoring what you thought was lost, giving you the strength to turn the page and create a future worthy of His blessings. 10. Allah grants you a better ending than your beginning. You stand there standing after all the trials. The years spent in pain, doubts, errors now seem distant, like memories from another time. But that's not the end of your story. On the contrary, what you are experiencing is only a new beginning, a new phase which Allah has prepared for you. If you've been through times where you thought it was all over, know that this was just the beginning of what Allah has planned for you. Yesterday's suffering is nothing compared to what He has in store for you today and tomorrow. Allah never leaves us in a hopeless situation. When He decides to restore what we have lost, He offers us a more beautiful, sweeter, and richer ending than anything we have known before. Allah reminds us in the Quran, "The end will be better than the beginning." Surah Ad-Duha, 93 verse 4. This verse is not just a promise, it is a guarantee. Everything you have experienced until today, everything that broke you taught you how to get back up, and every trial gives way to a greater blessing. What you considered a loss, a tragic end, now turns into a chapter of renewal. The lessons you learned through pain become solid foundations on which you can build your life. What seemed insurmountable becomes a springboard to your future success. Today you may still see obstacles ahead of you, but know that the real reward is not in the absence of difficulties, but in the way Allah transforms these difficulties to bring you closer to Him. When you realize that your wasted years were not in vain, that they prepared you for a stronger version of yourself, you understand that everything you have been through has led you to this precise moment. And this moment is the beginning of something much bigger. If you feel like you are about to receive blessings you never imagined, if you see doors opening, if you feel like the future is brightening for you, know that it is Allah who guides you towards an end much better than your beginning. Your story doesn't end with what you lost. It rewrites itself, it transforms, and it becomes more beautiful than you ever imagined. My brothers and sisters, if you have recognized some of these signs in your life, know that it is not a coincidence. Allah is working for you. He never forgot your prayers, nor ignored your tears. He is preparing for a future where your lost years will be restored in ways you cannot even imagine. But remember, patience, faith, and action are your keys. Continue to draw closer to Allah, to sincerely invoke His help, and to walk on the path that He opens before you. The end will be better than the beginning. Surah Ad-Duha, 93:4. If this video inspired you, subscribe so you don't miss any reminders that nourish the heart and soul. Leave a comment with the sign that resonates with you the most and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. May Allah grant you His light, restore everything you have lost, and fill your heart with serenity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.